This question is from R.K. Goel Prabhu. He asks, Sadar Pranam Guruji, kindly explain the verse, Kriyamanani Sarvani Karmani Prakriti Jai Gune. Hare Krishna. So I think maybe two verses are combined here. I think that we have one verse Prakriti Kriyamanani and then again something Prakriti Jai Gune.
Hare Krishna. Okay, I was explaining that Krishna is teaching that this comes in two slokas in the third chapter. In the third chapter, fifth sloka, Krishna is saying that Prakrit nahi kaschitik chanamapi jatu tistati akarmakrit karyategi avasyaga karma sarvaga prakriti jair gune. That's what Krishna says. So that's what the prakriti jair gune comes there. And then Krishna is saying that prakrite kriyamanani guneki karmani sarvasaga ahankara vimudatma kartaka miti manyade. So in the 27th sloka, in the third chapter. So third chapter, 5th sloka, and then 27th sloka. So that's what we need to understand. So here the meaning is that in the 5th sloka, nahi kasyatik chanamapi jatu tistati akarmakrit. So one cannot sit idle even for a single moment. One cannot refrain from doing something, not even for a single moment. Because everyone is forced to act helplessly by the three modes of material nature. That's what Krishna is saying there. Karyategi avasaga karma sarvaga prakriti jair kune. Because the three modes of material nature only is doing everything, so we cannot simply sit idle. So in the 27th sloka, in the third chapter, Krishna is saying that because prakrite kriyamanani gunehi karmani sarvasam. So all the activities are carried out by the gunas which are from Prakriti. So that way ahankara vimudatma kartagamiti manyade. Only a fool due to ahankara, due to false ego, he thinks that I am doing it. But we are not doing it. Everything is done by the three modes of material nature. Prakriti kriyamanani gunehi karmani sarvasam. So that's what is the meaning actually. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Thank you, Guruji. And this probably explains why last time we discussed why Atma is also not doing anything and Paramatma is a Sakshi just. So practically both of them are not active in any way. Only thing is that this is the material nature, which is governed by three modes of Satoguna, Rajoguna and Tamoguna. So they act in a particular manner and they forces the body. And since this is the part of the material nature, so this is again the part and parcel of body only. It is not part of the soul. So my now doubt is then how this three modes of material nature, they act differently in different people and in the same person in a different manner at different times.
They don't act differently in different people. The same mode of nature will act in the same way only. The mode of passion or mode of ignorance or mode of goodness, depending on it. But different persons have a combination of these three modes of nature in different combinations. That's why every individual is a different person. The personality is different because everyone is controlled by these modes of nature in a different proportions. That's what is very important. Like I always give the example of three basic colors, red, green and blue. If you mix them in different proportions, you are going to get all different colors. So like that, these three modes of material nature, if you mix them in different proportions, everyone, you will get different individualities, different personalities we are getting it. So all these things, all the activities are carried out only by the three modes of material nature. But when a person is thinking about the material sense objects, he comes under the control of the Rajoguna. When a person is ignorant, he has no knowledge, he comes under the control of the Tamoguna, ignorance. Similarly, when a person who is good, who is pious and who is a devotee, he will be actually in the mode of goodness. So that binds to happiness and knowledge, all such things. So it all depends upon what mode of nature we are in. That all depends upon whether we are attached to sense objects or not, whether we have knowledge or not. If you are attached to sense objects, we will be completely controlled by the mode of passion. So Rajoguna. So if you don't have the knowledge, we are completely controlled by the mode of ignorance. So sometimes we are having mode of goodness controlling, sometimes ignorance, sometimes passion. So all these things are happening depending upon what is our status. That's what is very important. Whether we are attached to sense objects or not, whether we are having knowledge or not. So all these things depends upon it. These different modes of nature are controlling us. You understand that? No?
Yes, Guruji, and this proportion will also be time dependent. It will keep on changing depending upon our association actually. If
That is
our
correct.
association is with the Satoguna, then it will be increasing and
Yes.
others will be decreasing.
That is correct, Prabhu, because this is highly contagious. These gunas are very, very highly contagious. It spreads just like anything. Even just by watching something on a screen, movie or something itself, we will get the gunas. So these gunas are very, very highly contagious, and sometimes the mode of goodness is predominant, sometimes the mode of patience, sometimes the mode of ignorance. It is like multi-personality disorder, correct? Something like that. So the same person will act differently depending upon what mode of nature is controlling. So rajas tamas cha vibhuyaga sattvam bhavati bharata, rajas sattvam tamas chaiva tamas sattvam rajas tata. Sometimes the mode of goodness is predominant, defeating the modes of passion and ignorance. Sometimes the mode of passion becomes predominant. At some other times, the mode of ignorance becomes predominant. You understand it? Right?
Yes, Guruji. And at the time of when the person is near Brahma Bhuta status, at that moment of time, he will predominantly, largely say 99%, he will be in the state of Satoguna.
He will be completely freed from the gunas. Yeah, sattva guna is the one, what you call it as Suddha Sattva, when you are freed from the gunas. So that person in the Brahma Bhuta platform, we are not actually forced to act. So even in the Sattva Guna also, we are forced to act only, forced to do good things. But when we are freed from, that is called Nirguna. Nirguna means we are not forced by any gunas. So that means we are totally free. We are not forced to act at all.
So then in that state, how do we act? Means how we
We are fully satisfied within ourselves. We are completely satisfied.
oh,
So
that is Gunatit then.
yeah, Gunatit, yes.
That is the state of Gunatit. Okay, okay,
Correct.
right. Thank
You
you.
are
Guruji.
freed from all the gunas. So
Yeah,
at that point of time, you can actually, you are able to find happiness only within the self. So at that time, there is no duty for us to do. Swatmaratireva syat atmatriptascha manavaga atmanyeva cha santustaga tasya karyam na vidyate. So when we are able to find happiness within the self alone, then there is no duty for us to do. We will not be forced to do any duty. So at that time, we are like Krishna only. Krishna is saying that Name Pathasti Kartavyam Trishulokesu Kincha Nanavaptam Avaptavyam Vartayevacha Karmi. There is no duty for me to do in all these three worlds, nor I have to obtain anything by doing any duty. So the same thing will happen to us when we are able to find happiness within ourselves. We are not going after material sense objects. So that's what in this 17th sloka, 3rd chapter, Krishna is saying. So for such a person, Naivatasya Krittenartho na Kritteneka Kaschana na Chasya Sarvabhuteshu Kaschitata Vyapashrayaga. So a self-realized man has no purpose to fulfill the discharge of his prescribed duties, nor has he any reason not to perform such work, and nor has he any need to depend on any other living being. That's what Nachasya Sarvabhutesu Kaschitatta Vyapasya. So we are completely freed. So that's why this studying Bhagavad Gita, following Bhagavad Gita, spreading Bhagavad Gita, serving Krishna is very, very, very important. That's why Krishna is saying that Tasmat Asaktaga Satatam Karyam Karma Samacharan Asaktogi Acharan Karma Paramapnoti Purushakam. You perform all your activities, all your duties without any attachment all the time. So by doing so, you will be reaching the supreme destination. That's what Krishna is teaching.
Thank you, Guruji. It's a wonderful explanation and it clarifies many doubts at the same time. Thank you very much, Guruji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Guruji. So that way, when we say that soul is not doing anything, like because of ahankara, we think. So then because of ahankara, we think we are the only doer. Like that is the mistake, right, Guruji? But
That's
then,
correct. That's it.
yeah, but then when we hear that there are like 5 factors, so in that, like we are also one of the factors.
No, even in that also we are not doing it. So till that one factor is that mode of nature is doing. Adhishtanam tatha karta. That karta is actually the mode of nature. We are not doing it.
Okay. Yeah, because
So
then that question will like, yeah, we have also discussed that.
ahangara vimudatma karta ahamiti manyate. So karta, that word, same karta, Krishna is also using that word in the 5 factors. Also Krishna is using the word karta. So here also Krishna is using the word karta. Ahankara vimudatma karta ahamiti manyate. So a foolish person, due to ahankara, due to false ego, he thinks that he is doing it. But we are not doing it. Only the 3 modes of nature is doing it. So that's what we studied in the 5th chapter on Saturday, correct?
Correct.
न कर्तृत्वं न कर्माणि लोकस्य सृजति प्रभुः न कर्मफल संयोगं स्वभावस्तु प्रवर्तते. So that karta is the swabhava, not ourselves. We are not doing anything.
Okay, Guruji. Yeah, so again, like because of Swabhava, it is forcing us to do.
That's correct. Forcing
Yeah.
us to do, but we are not doing it. We should not think that we are doing it. If we think that we are doing it, we have ahankara. That's what is called ahankara. The literal meaning of ahankara is just flip it, karta aham. So ahankara, karta aham. So aham is you need to put it in the back, and karta you need to put it in the front. So that karta aham is called ahankara. So that's what is the meaning of ahankara.
Okay. So that thinking that we are doing it, so that part we are doing, that we are thinking that
That is correct.
I am
That
doing.
part we
So,
do, that is a mistake. That is a mistake.
okay. Okay. So in that way, we need to do one thing, like we need to stop thinking that we are doing. So that is something we need to do.
Yes, if we do that, then we are freed from the modes of nature. That is the only way to free ourselves from the modes of nature. Krishna is saying that Naanyam gunebhyaha kartaram yatha drashtanu pasyati. One who is able to see that nothing other than the gunas are doing everything. Naanyam gunebhyaha kartaram yatha drashtanu pasyati. Gunebhyascha parameti madbhavam so adhikachati. He will be freed from the gunas and will attain my nature. That's what Krishna is saying. So we should think, we should see that only gunas are doing everything. That's what is very important.
Okay, Guruji. So what I understood is we are not doing anything, but we are doing one thing, that we are thinking that we are doing, and
That is correct.
to get out of the modes of material nature, we need to do one thing. So what we need to do is that we need to stop the thinking that we are doing. So that thinking part, we need to do that, to stop the thinking.
That is correct. Yes,
Okay,
so instead of thinking like that, we should think about Krishna. That's what today's sloka we studied, that Maya Vesya Manoyema Nitya Yukta Upasade. So we need to focus our mind on Krishna instead of thinking all these things. We have to simply focus our mind on Krishna. All these things, if by getting this Bhagavad Gita knowledge, is going to happen, Prabhu. Definitely. By getting the way we study Bhagavad Gita, this is not an ordinary group, ordinary team, what we are studying every day Bhagavad Gita. This is really Krishna's causeless mercy. We are, it's a miracle. Krishna's mercy, what we are doing is wonder every day. So because we are studying the Bhagavad Gita at length, each and every sloka, we are analyzing like each and every sloka, and devotees are asking very nice questions. So that way, in fact, Arjuna asked so many questions and Krishna answered all the questions. Now, if we look at the number of questions in our WhatsApp groups, every day devotees are asking and we are answering. Everything is based on the same Bhagavad Gita. Everything, any answer, whatever we are studying, discussing, everything from Bhagavad Gita only. We are not deviating from Bhagavad Gita at all. We are not answering anything from anywhere else. So Bhagavad Gita has got unlimited source of knowledge which answers all our questions.
Yes, Guruji. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.